Let me copy the coding for you so that you can experiment and you can identify the difference. You can just test with this. Okay, not only paragraph tag and pre-formatted tag, we have some more tags. We have some more tags which are required for our UI5 development, like image tag, link tag. So let me write that here. That is like img. So there is one more tag like img, that is one tag. But frankly speaking, we don't use image tag because you can see SAP has provided, an image here. So we use our SAP UI5 syntaxes, not HTML tag syntaxes. But it's better to know what is what, and some things may be useful in different situations. In real time, we don't use image HTML tag. We use our image from SAP UI5 library. So please notice that. But it is better to know. So you can see here, if I want to use image, you can use img, and src is the property, and you can provide some image name. You can provide some image name under src property. For example, oasis.gif file. You can use like this. And if you want, you can also use width and height. So let me use that. But oasis.gif file must be available under web content folder. Oasis.gif file should be available in web content folder. So let me copy that. You can see this is the image I want to use it. This is the image I want to use it. So you can copy that and paste it under web content. You can paste it under web content and you can save it and you can provide that name as it is, oasis.gif. And let me test it here. Let me refresh. Now you can see that image is reflected here. That image is reflected here. So if you closely observe this particular tag, let me give one. So this is the tag we were using now. But if you closely observe this particular tag, it is having something like two things. This is a tag name and this is the attribute and this is the value. So HTML tags can have this type of syntax also. HTML tags can also have this type of syntaxes like tag name, and this is the attribute name, and this is the value. Tag name, attribute name, and value. So HTML tags can have this type of syntax also. We generally don't use this in UI5, but I'm just making you understand how exactly these things works in index file. So let me write that here. Make sure that image file is pasted in web content folder. Make sure that image file is pasted in web content folder. If you want to test that, but my main intention is to make sure that HTML tags can have attributes. That is the point. An HTML tag can also have attributes. Something like tag attribute 1 equal to some value 1, then attribute 2 equal to value 2, something like that. So that is possible. And here you can see for this one, you can also use other attributes like width. You can use other attributes like height, etc. You can use 200 pixels. You can use height, for example, 300 pixels. So these are attributes here. SRC is the attribute, width is the attribute, height is the attribute, and IMG is the tag name. So tags, HTML tags can also have this type of format. Let us see this difference after refreshing. You can see the difference now. So height, width, and SRC, these are the properties we have provided here. SRC, width, and height. So in SAP UI5, we use almost the same properties, but we have totally a different syntax. Okay. So as of now, let me give as an example. For example, you can consider this. So you can have this type of format also. Notice that. And not only that, say for example, there is one more option like link tag. That is nothing but we call it as anchor tag. Anchor tag. So it is used to open website link or any application which contains URL address. It is used to open a website. It can open a website or any application which contains a URL address here. So let us see how it works. So you can see here there is anchor tag. Under anchor tag there is something like href. Href, I want to connect to Google, www. You can provide google.com, and this is the text I want to display. So here A is anchor tag, href is the attribute, this is the value. A is the tag name, href is the attribute, and this is the value of that attribute. So, but frankly speaking, we don't use this concept. We don't use HTML anchor tag. We have our own SAP UI5 link option here. You can see this. You can see there's a link option, there's an image option, there is a button. So etc etc. So what I mean to say is we don't get a chance to use all HTML tags. We have our own SAP UI5 options. But as a developer, better to start from these basics so that you will feel very comfortable when I use button, image, link, etc. in the UI5 syntaxes. That's the only reason why I'm going in detail into this HTML. But in general, we don't use HTML tags directly. That is a point. So anyhow, let me test it at this point of time. Let me refresh here. And before that, let me refresh now. So you can see now there is a Google website. If I click on that, then it should open a Google link here. It is trying to open that. But if you closely observe, it is going to a Google starting page, but I want to go to a results page. Instead of going to starting page, I want to go to a results page and it should display some specific results. For example, think like this. Okay, first let me copy this. You can use this. And you can also use like this. For example, google.com/search Q equal to, for example, SAP UI5. Then it is going to display the results of SAP UI5. I'm using search Q equal to, that is query string. Search Q, that means query string is equal to SAP UI5, then it will open the results page based on that query string. So, and this query string can be dynamic. This query string also can be dynamic. So at present, let me go according to this. Search Q equal to SAP UI5. So it will go to results page and it will display results based on this query string SAP UI5. So let me test it again. Just let me test it. Now you can see there is a link here. When I click on that link, so if you closely observe, it is going to a results page when you click on that link. You can see here, it is directly going to that UI5 and it is displaying all the results based on that query string SAP UI5. So that is how you can use it. And not only that, you can also go to a specific location. You can also go to a specific location, like you can provide like this. href equal to http then www.google.com or maps.google.com /place/ I want to search with place Hyderabad. Something like this. So this is also possible. So in Google Map, I can directly locate to a particular place by providing this type of link. And this place can be dynamic, and that you will understand when we go for UI5 part. When we use a link option in SAP UI5, you'll understand how to make this place dynamic. But at present, I am hard coding that value. At present, I am hard coding that value. So let me try this now. So I'm using maps.google.com/place/some Hyderabad as a place name. Put double quotes is missing. Then you can save it. Now let us test it here. So you can see now, if I click on this particular Google map, so there is some problem. Let me test this separately. After that, I'll provide the exact address. First, let me test it individually. Okay, this is how you can test it. So this is the address you can provide directly here. google.co.in, something like /maps/place/some place name. This is the exact address, maps/place/place name. So let me test it now. So after refreshing, it will open that page. And when I click on this particular Google Map link, then this time you can see now it is directly pointing to a particular Hyderabad location here. You can see that. So it is directly pointing to that particular specific location, and most importantly, you can see it is highlighted. Most importantly, that is highlighted with red color because we are searching with a particular place. For example, I want to search with, for example, Nepal. Nepal, let me try here. So after refreshing, it will open your index file. And when I click on this Google map, so there is some problem. Place.Nepal. So it is opening here. Let me copy that as it is. So now you can see when I click on that, now it is redirecting to that particular location, and that is highlighted in red color here. Now it is redirecting from UI5 to that particular specific location here, and it is highlighted with red color. So at present, what I can say is, in our case, this is a code. Let me copy this code. Okay, you can try it, no problem. But at present, I can say, before I conclude, let me tell you, SAP UI5 application generally contains all website features. It can contain website features plus SAP data. That is the main theme of our UI5 applications. in our UI5 applications, we are going to integrate all our website features, plus we are going to display and we are going to perform transactions with SAP systems by consuming OData services. So overall, it looks like this. All internet features or website features plus our SAP data also can be displayed. And of course, it can be a SAP Fiori application. It can be a SAP Fiori application, and Fiori application also can contain all website features plus SAP data. So, and most importantly, this SAP UI5 or Fiori applications runs on any device. Don't forget these basic points. It can run on any device. And most importantly, it can be on desktop. It can be a tablet. It can be like mobile device. It can run on any device. And most importantly, I can say SAP UI5 application can have all website features. It can have all website features plus non-SAP data also. You can interact with non-SAP. And of course, in Fiori applications also, you can have all website features plus non-SAP data. And most importantly, these UI5 Fiori front-end applications runs on any device like desktop, tablet, and mobile. So this is our target. By the end of the course, this is how it looks like. We try to perform transactions with SAP system. At the same time, we try to mix up all website features. So that is our main target. And this is how we are going to proceed further in the coming classes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Hi, Vijay.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, Venkat.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vijay. See, you told me that 5% of HTML tags we are using, right?
Yes.
So is that they are not available in SAP VO5? That's why we are using, or is that like a more easy
No,
so that we are using?
HTML5 is not SAP SAP UI5 is more easy than HTML tags. That is the point. We can make more dynamic if you use UI5 syntaxes instead of HTML tags.
Okay, but why we are using this HTML5? I mean, even that 5%.
5% we use. Why? Because the starting page is an index file with HTML. When we load our application, our application will be loaded with some index.html file, and that is a HTML supported file. So that's the reason why we use some of the tags.
Okay. Okay. And one more doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One more doubt is like, can we know? I mean, if there is an error or something in the tags, can we perform like a kind of a debug, or can we find out an error, something like that?
Yes.
Oh,
So yes, I'll tell you how to debug this scripting, how to debug these things. I'll be telling you in the coming
okay. Okay.
classes. Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Thanks.
And
Yeah,
what
Vijay,
about?
Vijay Mahendra here.
Yeah, Mahendra.
Yeah, Vijay, actually, I want to know when we create a project, new project.
Okay.
There's a option with the radio button system. Should be
Yeah.
mobile or desktop.
It can be at present you try to develop with the desktop, but in
Okay.
the Fiori applications we are going to use mobile specific libraries.
Okay, and it means if we'll use mobile, it will work in mobile as well as desktop. But if we'll
Exactly.
use if we'll use desktop, then it will not work in mobile, is it?
No, if you use desktop option also, it will work in mobile, but it will be loaded with URL. If you have a browser, it will work. There won't be any problem.
Okay, okay.
Are you getting my point?
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah. Then what about others?
Hi Vijay, Praveen this side.
Yeah, Praveen.
Vijay, I wanted to know a few things here. Is content area similar to the subscreen concept?
It's similar to that. Yes.
And do we have any pretty printer option in this editor?
Which option?
Pretty printer that we have in web editor. A similar kind of option do we have in this
Can you repeat that question?
pretty printer? Do we have any pretty printer option here?
Pretty printer option we don't get directly here.
Okay,
We
so
don't have that option directly here.
we have to align the code. I mean to say
Yeah. Align the
code. I mean code alignment will be automatically done by pretty printer, right? In our app. So
okay.
similar kind of thing. Do we have it in Eclipse editor also?
Then you can right click here. Then you can go to some source and you can click on format here.
Okay. Uh,
You can select that. You can right click and you can go to source format.
okay. And one more dot, Vijay, like you have given some text like Google Map or anything like. So can we have any text elements provided in this editor so
Text
that we can
elements.
have text elements like we have in ABAP through which we can have the language dependency also. Such kind of things, is it possible in
Yes.
Eclipse?
Language dependent things will be covering when I go for internationalization. I-1A10 resource folder. When we go for resource model concept, then we are going to understand how our application supports multiple languages.
Okay, and can we specify the line length that we are giving as underline or anything like that? Because when we say underline, it is giving a complete underline. Let's say I want to restrict its length to some 5 or 10 characters.
Then that we are going to handle through UI5 part. No need to worry.
Okay,
Restricting the length, data type, all those things will come into picture.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That's all.
Then
Yeah, hi Vijay,
yeah,
this is this side.
Neeraj.
Yeah, just one question. SAP UI5 syntaxes are similar to that HTML5?
No. They are going to have scripting syntaxes.
Okay.
Your UI5 syntaxes will use scripting syntaxes, but before we use scripting, it is better to know how exactly this body tag also works.
Okay.
That's
Scripting
the
is
reason.
basically what scripting you're talking about.
Hello?
Scripting is basically you're talking about Java scripting, right?
Yes, it will be JavaScript, but we have some specific syntaxes. We don't use complete JavaScript as it is. We have our UI5 scripting syntax on top of that.
Okay.
There are
With
there are three syntaxes which we need to know. Based on those three syntaxes, complete UI5 is dependent. So total UI5 depends. So total UI5 application depends on three main syntaxes. So that I'll start in the coming classes, mostly after 2 or 3 days.
okay. So basically,
Yeah,
it's a mixture of HTML5, Java scripting, and SAP UI5. Its own syntax.
exactly. Yes, exactly. But majority will be UI5 scripting,
Okay.
not HTML tag. Majority will be UI5 scripting.
Okay.
Yeah. Then what about others? And Monday there was no class. No need to worry. I did not send any meeting ID because there is some internet problem in my mission. Aslam. Yeah. Then Shiva Kumar. Shiva
Hi,
Kumar.
hi, Vijay. Alok here.
Yeah, Alok.
Vijay, you have explained how to install this Eclipse and add SAP UI5 plugins, but I guess I have missed how to connect this Eclipse to backend SAP system.
I did not explain that how to connect from UI5 to backend. That will be covered in the coming classes.
Okay, right. I was wondering how
No,
this
no,
will
no.
work.
I did not explain any connection between UI5 and backend. That will come after 10 or 15 classes.
Oh, Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Then,
Yeah, hi, this is Abhijit.
yeah, Abhijit.
Yeah, I have one question. Normally, we use this JavaScripting for validation purpose on the web service. Here also, we do we use for same purpose?
Yes, we can use same type of validations. Whatever is available in scripting, we can apply here. But how to apply, how we include in UI5, that we are going to cover.
Okay.
Then what about others?
Okay.
Vijay, Ravi here.
Yeah, Ravi.
Uh, Ravi, you are mentioning like we use the syntaxes of JavaScript like whatever the provided by the SAP UI5. Is it
Exactly.
will be same as of JavaScript syntaxes or it will be different?
It will be similar, but not exactly same. It is not similar,
Okay. Okay.
not
The
exactly same.
overall concept will be same as of that.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Is there any particular materials like we get the syntaxes of that? Can you send and we
Here,
can
here
go
you
through
can
that?
see, I gave you, I think you missed the first 15 minutes. So this is a
Okay.
link. In that link, we
Okay.
are
Okay.
going to use all these options. Don't worry, I'll use every option, most of these options in our UI5 development. Okay, but before we use this, it's better to know all these basics.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Then
that too, Vijay, can we use like animations and all we are going to do in this web page?
animations,
Like,
yes,
is
of
it
course. If the image is supporting, if an image is supporting animation, then definitely it will display with an animation itself in the output also.
okay, okay. Like whatever the animations we are performing in the HTML page, we can do it here also.
Exactly, exactly. That will be done through index file, but not with view and controllers.
Okay, okay, Vijay.
Yeah. Then,
Okay, thank you, Vijay.
Vijay, Sunil here.
yeah, Sunil.
Yeah, Vijay, as I sent a mail to you regarding the problem with Eclipse. So I noticed one thing here. In your first screen of Eclipse, the options were desktop and mobile, right?
Okay.
But in my case, when I loaded, uh, what I was getting is library
sapui.commons and sap.m
SCP
you will get.
M. So I was guessing, is it right what I have installed?
I think you have installed proper one, no problem. SAP UI.commons is nothing but equal to desktop option.
Okay.
And
And mine is a
sap.m is equal to mobile option.
okay. And mine is a 64-bit, but still, as I sent the mail to you, it was giving me the error like a creation of project in Eclipse error, one or more
Did you install
constraints have not been
JDK?
satisfied.
Did you install JDK like that?
JDK, no.
Okay, then try to install that JDK option. I'll send that link to everyone.
Yeah, please, if you can send me that link, I will do that. So, do I need to uninstall this present Eclipse and then
No.
install it again?
Don't, you need not uninstall. Try after installing JDK. If there is any problem, then you try to uninstall.
Okay, I recollect. That JDK 8 I installed. Because when I loaded Eclipse, it was asking for that JDK. So I went and installed the JDK 8.
Then I think I'm unable to find out your problem. So let me check once again, because you are getting one problem like one or more constraints not satisfied, right? That is error?
Yes, that is the error.
I'll check that once again and then I'll come back to you.
And one more thing, the first error what I get after loading Eclipse is one pop-up comes which says while loading Eclipse.
That doesn't matter. I saw that message from your screenshot, but that is not going to happen. That is not going to impact your application.
Okay, fine. So this is the major thing, right? One or more constraints have not been satisfied.
Yes,
so we need to figure out that.
Yes, I'll just come with one solution. Otherwise, we'll try to reinstall that setup. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Vijay.
Then, yeah, what about others? Swadhin, Tina, Vasant, Sumit are able to follow the concepts?
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah, Rohit.
Yeah, Vijay, these already means these radio buttons and buttons, are we are using breakdown techniques or we have to write the code for it?
We are going to write the code, but it won't be like as complex as like normal app. It will be very easy and definitely it will be very interesting.
Okay, so drop down technique is not there. Still not there,
Drag
or
and
it is.
drop, drag and drop is not available here. We are going to write the code by taking the code from the library, and we are going to make several changes.
Okay, fine.
Okay. When I explain the syntaxes, then you will feel more comfortable.
Okay, fine.
Okay, then. Yeah, who else?
Vijay Adilakshmi this side.
Yeah. You can speak now.
I have downloaded a Eclipse tool. As you said, the procedure what you have explained in previous class. But while opening this Eclipse tool, I am getting the error no Java virtual machine was found after searching.
Can you try to install JDK 1.7 or JDK 7? Try with that.
Okay, will you provide that link to me?
Install JDK. I'll try to provide that link, or else you can search it in Google itself.
Okay, take it. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, then what about others? Deepthi, Dheeraj, Gaurav,
So,
able to follow the concepts?
sir, I have two doubts. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, that you will be discussing that bootstrap part and what are all the packages we are having. In one project, we are having several packages like meta and all. So you will be explaining, I think, in coming lectures, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we are going to cover all those packages. I did not use any package as of today. When we start using UI5 screen elements, then I'll explain more about those libraries.
Okay. And the other thing that for testing purpose, we need not to install any Apache and any other, I think,
No, it's
server.
not required. No, those type of things are not required. Just right click and run as web application preview.
Okay. So for all the UI5 application, we can test like this, right?
Not complete UI5. We are going to deploy this application to server and then we can test it.
Okay.
But as of now, you can run as web application preview. Choose this option.
Okay, fine.
Okay, how to deploy the applications, that will come in the coming classes.
Sure.
Then, yeah, Naveen.
Yeah, Vijay. Regarding that launchpad issue, Vijay, I checked the LPD cast and the other T code PFCG, but not able to trace it exactly.
What I'll do is I'll try to send the LPD configuration, one application configuration to you with one screenshot. Try whether it is available as it is or not in your mission.
Okay, I mean this is for order for requisition. This app is.
Whatever may be, but there is some syntax. If the same syntax is used in your case, then it's okay. Otherwise, you have to change it. I'll send that screenshot to you.
Okay, Vijay. I mean, I have referred the other apps, but for the other apps, it's working. Only for this app, it doesn't.
I think in your case, they might have created one separate catalog. In that catalog, they might have made some changes. That might be the problem. So try to check what are the catalogs available and what are the applications configured in those catalogs. Because same application can have different URLs like that. So that might be some problem in your case.
Vijay, can I share my screen? I mean, if you are available after the class.
Right now, I don't have the team viewer, but I'll send that screenshot to you. Just cross check with that.
Okay, Vijay. Yeah.
Then.
Thank you.
Rakshit, Rani, Saroj, Saral Desai, Sumit are able to follow the concepts? What about others? Venkat, Tanmay? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Swadin? Okay. Sumit? Sri Harsha? Soumendra? Shashikiran? Gaurav? Okay, students, so I'll stop at this point. Tomorrow we'll proceed further. Okay? Good night. I think Surya, it is connected twice. Who is this Surya? Surya, your session is connected twice. May I know who is this Surya?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, what's your name?
Partha Sarthi, sir. It is disconnected, so that's why I connected again.
What's your name?
Partha Sarthi Pandya.
Okay. So Deepthi, can you hear me now? Deepthi, can you hear me now? Okay, so in today's class, we are going to discuss various HTML tags. Yesterday, we have discussed some HTML tags. In today's class, we are going to discuss some more HTML tags. So for example, think like this. For example, I want to display scrolling text. I want to display scrolling text using HTML tag. Then we use a marquee tag, that is a tag given by HTML library. So it contains a marquee tag here. So the purpose of marquee tag is just to display the scrolling text here. It is used to display scrolling text on output screen. So let us see how it works. So you can see now, I'm trying to use one scrolling text somewhere here by using a marquee tag, MARQUEE. So that's a marquee tag, and within that you can see you can provide something like, for example, Oasis Technologies for SAP UI5. So I want to display this text as scrolling text. So this is a text I want to display it as scrolling text. And most importantly, I want to display this with heading. I want to display this text with heading option. So you can use tag inside tag. It is Hello students, can you see my screen? Any problem? Can you see my screen? Hello students.
Yes, sir, we can see.
I think Surya, you have connected twice again. Please don't do that.
No, sir, no, sir. I have connected not again.
But I could see two names with Surya, two IDs with Surya here in my GoToMeeting. Okay, so here.
Sir, it was disconnected, so that's why I have connected again.
Okay. So now you can see this is a market text and I want to display this market text as heading. Then what you can do is you can use like H1 also. You can provide like this, H1. So that means we can use tag inside the tag. That means a nested tag is possible here. We can use tag inside tag in HTML. That means we can have a nested tag while using our HTML tags. So let us see how it works. Let me refresh our screen. So you can see now there is some text scrolling from right to left, and that is a scrollable text, and it is displayed because of a marquee tag here. You can access this under other browsers also. You can see here. There is a scrolling text which is displayed from right to left. And let me write that here in our coding part. For example, so this is how you can use that tag. And let me write a note. We can use nested tags in HTML. So remember that. So H1 tag is included inside marquee tag. And not only that, say for example, I want to use some style properties. I want to use some style properties, for example, text color, background color, something like text size, text alignment. So I want to use some style properties here. Then how to do that? So it's very simple, just observe. HTML styles. So the text whatever is displayed here, I want to display in red color. And I want to display with a different font size or with different font style. Then what you can do is you can just apply this technique here. You can go to marquee tag. Inside marquee tag, you can use style. You can use style option. Style option is a very generic one. It is not specific to marquee tag. You can use this style attribute under any HTML tag. I am applying on marquee tag, but you can apply on any other HTML tag. So style I'm using equal to, for example, I want to use text color as red. Then you can use that. And similarly, I want to use something like font size, for example, 10 pixels. Font size, something like 10 pixels. So let us see how it works. So now you can see there is some small text scrolling from right to left. But if you want to increase, you can increase this here, for example, 40 pixels. You can save it and refresh here. So when you refresh, now you can see we are able to display in red color with font size as 40 pixels. So what I mean to say here is, so if you closely observe this one, this is our tag name. Mark is our tag name, and style is our attribute. For that attribute, color is a property and red is a value. Red is a value. Similarly, you can see font size, it is a property and 40 pixel is a value. So what I mean to say is, style is a very generic attribute here. Style is a very generic attribute you can apply on any HTML tag, not only on marquee tag. So at present I can say this is a HTML tag. And style is nothing but it's an attribute here. It's an attribute. And in this case, color is nothing but a property. You can call it as property. And in this case, red is just a value. And similarly, font size is a property. It's a property. Colon, there is a value. 40 pixel, that is a value here. So this is how you can apply. You can apply this type of concept on paragraph tag, bold tag, heading tag, pre-formatted tag, etc., etc. So let me write that note somewhere here. Style is a generic attribute for HTML tags. Style is used to display text or any content in different formats. So style supports various properties. Style supports various properties like font size, text color, something like background color, and it also supports background image, I think. And you can use like other properties like border, width, height, etc., 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 etc. You can use it. So all these things are generally used for changing the appearance of the screens. It is just to change the appearance of the screens. Not only that, it also supports text alignment. Text alignment, font size, font family, and then color, background color, then background image, and border, and then width, height, etc., etc. Now, say for example, okay, let me give that as an example here. For example, you can use this now. I've applied for marquee tag. I've applied for marquee tag. Some of the properties. Now say for example, I want to use a style with background image for our total HTML body. For this total HTML body, I want to apply one background image. Then what we can do is, you can go to this particular body section here. You can go to this particular body section. Under body section, you can use style. Body is also a tag here. Body is also a tag. That's an HTML tag. So for any HTML tag, you can apply style here. You can apply style equal to, for example, background image. You can see this. And I want to use, for example, Sachin dot. Okay, let me copy one file. First, let me copy one file from my folder. For example, I'm expecting this one. You can copy that and you can paste it in web content folder. You can paste it in web content folder, then you can use that file name, sachin.jpg. So that is the file name which we are using as a background image. Something like this I'm using. So let me try. If it is not reflecting, we'll make some changes. So it's not reflected. There seems to be some problem here. Style, that is okay. Then background hyphen image. Then you can provide something like URL. You have to provide URL. In that you can provide some image name, that is sachin.jpg. So let me try with this. So now you can see that particular image is reflected as a background. After refreshing, you can test it in the latest browser also, so it will be reflected here. So that is how you can provide some background for your SAP UI5 screens. And we are going to study more about these things in the coming classes when we use SAP UI5 screen elements. As of now, we are using something like HTML tags, but we are going to use SAP UI5 screen elements. At that level, we are going to understand more about these style properties. But at present, you can see that background image is reflected here. So whichever image you want, you can copy from there. You can copy that and paste it in web content folder. And you can use that in your application as you like. So let me refresh. I've changed it. So now you can see this is a little bit more meaningful, and you can test it here. So that is how you can use it. So this is how you can test it. So body tag is also an HTML tag. So at body level, we have applied our style property with background image. So let me give that here in your notes. So you can use this type of code. Don't disturb the standard code. Just go inside. You go inside body tag and apply this style property. Very simple. And not only that, we can use several other properties in case of style. So this is a very basic attribute. Style is a basic attribute you can apply on any HTML tag. Now let us concentrate on some more options here, like something like HTML formatting tags. HTML formatting tags. For example, why we use HTML formatting tags? So formatting tags are used to display text in different format. We use formatting tags to display text in different formats. For example, I can display text with bold, I can display text with italic, I can display text with something like marked, I can display text as small text, we can display text as deleted text, and we can display text as inserted text, and we can display text with subscript, and we can display text with superscript. So we can display our text in different formats like bold, italic, marked, small, deleted, inserted, subscript, superscript. So if I want to display text in bold, then you have to use this B tag. Bold text, you have to use B tag. And for italic text, you can use like I. For italic, you can use text as I. And for marked text, you can use it as mark. You can use it like mark. That is a tag name. And for small text, you can use tag name as small. And similarly, for deleted text, you can use DEL. For displaying text with deleted option, you can use DEL. And text with inserted option, you can use INS. And you can use text with subscript by using SUB. And we can use superscript text using SUP. So these are different tags in order to display text in different formats. For example, let me use all these things, then you can identify the difference. Let me use one by one. Somewhere here, I want to use all those tags. For example, bold tag. You can use like this. And similarly, so BR is break. BR is for break. And you can use another tag, for example, italic. You can see italic. I want to display same text here. And you can use something like break tag. After that, you can provide some more tags here like DEL. So text will be displayed with DEL option. That means text with deleted option. And you can use like small text, and similarly we can also make use of inserted text, INS, and we can also display text with superscript. I want to display some text with superscript, then for example think like this. I want to use some paragraph, say for example think like this. I want to display SAP UI5 Fiori OData as a subscript. For example, I want to display UI5 Fiori OData as subscript. Then you can use that here, SUB, and you can put some ending tag here as SUB. So this particular text will be displayed as subscript text. Oasis Technologies is learning center for, that is normal text, but SAP UI5 Fiori OData, that will be displayed as subscript text. And similarly, you can use like this. You can use break. I want to use some paragraph. The same text, but I want to display in the form of superscript. Then you can use SUP. So Oasis Technologies Learning Center for, that will be displayed as normal text, but UI5 Fiori OData, that will be displayed as superscript text. So let me try all these things at once. I'm trying to save here. You can go to index file, just refresh that text, and you can see now. So you can see this is like bold. Okay, let me use one break tag here. I'm just adding one break tag. Let me open in the latest browser. So you can see now, this is like bold text, italic, deleted text, and this is something like small text, and this is inserted text, and this is subscript text, and this is superscript text. So you can have different formats here. So when text is displayed in the output, it is displaying in different formats. So this is like bold, this is like italic, this is delete text, this is like small text, and this is insert text, and this is subscript text, and this is superscript text. You can see that here. Subscript and this is superscript. You can find some difference in the output here. One is subscript, another is superscript. If I want to display 2 to the power 5, then you have to use this type of format. If I want to display 5 to the power 3, then in that case you can use a superscript tag. So this is how you can use it. So let me go to our screen. So let me copy this so that you can use it while practicing. I just copied that same as it is. Now, not only these things, we have some more options like, table. Generally, we don't use table from HTML, but I just want to make you understand how HTML table looks like. HTML table tag. So here you can see in our documentation, in UI5 documentation, let me open our documentation. In SAP UI5 documentation, we have our SAP UI5 table. So we are going to use our UI5 table, but not HTML table. Of course, UI5 may internally use HTML5, but we don't directly write HTML tag for creating a table. We have our own syntaxes. So what I mean to say is, in our real time, we use a table from SAP UI5 library, but not from HTML tag library. SAP UI5 internally will use HTML5, but we don't use HTML5 always directly in our applications. We use our SAP UI5 screen elements, which is very convenient, comfortable, and easy to use. But just for our knowledge purpose, let me just explain how HTML table tag can be used. So what we can generally do is we can make use of a table tag. Let me write somewhere here. So we can use like table. Under table, I can use some border equal to something like 1 pixel, and I want to use some style equal to something like width, something like 100%. You can use like this. Just for knowledge purpose, I'm writing this, but we generally don't use. And here you can see there is a table row. There will be begin table row and closing table row. So under first table row, I want to provide some table data with some column names. For example, first name. And similarly, table data, another column name, for example, last name. And table data, for example, percentage. So this first table row is to display the column names. The first table row is to display the column names. But I want to use another table row. I want to use another table row here for displaying first record. For displaying first record, first name, for example, Vijay. Last name, Kumar. Percentage, for example, 70. So this is the first record in the table. Similarly, I can display second record, something like Suman, percentage 90. I can display third record, so you can continue like this. Satish, with something like 40%. So we can display any number of records like this statically. This is a static table. is a static table. So let me test this one and how it appears on the screen. Let me check here. Let me refresh the screen, and you can see now this is how the table looks like. Let me open in the latest browser. Let me refresh here, and you can see there is a table, and table contains all these options here. There's a table. Table contains some column, first name, last name, percentage, and these are the record values. These are the record values. So, but this is a table created using HTML tag. But in real time, we don't use HTML table tag. We use our SAP UI5 table. So that is a point I want to tell you. So SAP UI5 table internally may use some HTML table tag, but we don't directly do it in our applications. So what I mean to say here is SAP UI5 is a framework. SAP UI5 is a framework developed by SAP on HTML5. SAP UI5 is our SAP framework, but it is internally developed by using HTML5 tags. So that's the reason why in our case, SAP UI5, 5 indicates HTML5 here. SAP UI5 is our framework from SAP, which is internally developed by using HTML5 concept. So what I mean to say is, as a developer, we don't get 90% chances we don't get directly to use HTML5. Instead, we use our SAP specific UI5 framework. Okay, so please notice that. So as a developer, so as a SAP UI5 developer, so as a SAP UI5 developer, we use SAP UI5 framework, but not directly HTML5, but not directly HTML5. So developer point of view, I'm talking about here. So anyway, we have already written the code. Let me just give that code to you. And here you can provide some style with other properties here. We can use style with other properties also. Width, then you can see here, for example, background color. Let me check whether it works or not. Something like green. So you can see now there is some difference in the output here. I applied background color for table as green, so it looks like this. Let me refresh here. You can see the difference. But anyhow, this is just for experimentation purpose. You can use this. So you can use that code. Don't worry much about that coding because we don't use that. We have other technique using UI5 framework. And there is one important thing, that is HTML iframe. So HTML iframe is also one of the tag, and this tag is used to display different types of files in our output screen. iframe is one of the HTML tag, and it is used to display different types of files on our output screens. So let me tell you here, iframe tag is used to display different files on output page. That is, it can display something like .bmp file, GIF file, text file, PDF file, etc. .bmp, .gif, .text, .pdf, etc. So how can we use that? This is important for our SAP UI5. So I'm just putting star, so it is important for UI5. So let me try to use one iframe tag inside our screen somewhere here. Let me delete all these things. I want to use some iframe. So iframe is the name of the tag, and for that tag you can use some properties here, like iframe. Under iframe, there will be some attributes like src. src is one of the important attribute for iframe. So I want to display some PDF file. I want to display some PDF file using iframe. For example, think like this. Think like this. There is a PDF file here. I want to display this PDF file in my SAP UI5 output screen. So at present, what you do is you copy that file and try to paste it under web content folder here. Whichever file you want to show on UI5 screen, just copy and paste it under web content folder. So designer.pdf, so you can use that name here, designer.pdf. And while displaying this file, I want to use some height as, for example, 520 pixels. And similarly, or else you can directly leave like this. And similarly, I want to use some width property with 1020 pixel. So now let me test it. Let me refresh here and let me open in the latest browser. Now you can see here. So we are able to get that particular PDF file inside our UI5 screen. You can also test it in the latest browsers. Now you can see here. Within our UI5 screen, we can display any type of PDF file, or you can also display a text file. So let me try with text file. If you want to display a text file, for example, I want to display a text file, then what you can do, use the same tag and provide some text file name. Okay, let me take one text file here. You can see something like there is one file, class is one text file. I want to show this on our UI5 screen. So let me copy that file and paste it on web content folder here. you can paste it under web content folder, that is class.txt. Then you can provide that name somewhere here, class.txt, and let us refresh it. Now you can see the text file is displayed here. Instead of PDF, we are able to display text file. So these type of things are important in the case of iframe. So you can use this one. So whichever file you want to show, we are displaying the static text file, static PDF file, but in the coming classes, we are going to get those files from our OData service here. When we move forward in the coming classes, what we are going to do is we are going to fetch the file from the OData service and we are going to display on the front end screen. But at present, we are displaying a static file. Make sure that file is pasted in web content folder. To display any static file, then make sure that file is pasted in web content folder. Now, not only this one. So HTML5 also supports like media formats. HTML5 also supports some media formats. One second. Hello students, are you able to hear me? Hello students, can you hear me properly?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, let me proceed further. I'll take 5 more minutes. Don't log off. So you can see here in HTML5, we have a media formats, and this is important for our UI5. So like .mpg or .mpeg and .avi, .wmv format, .mov format, and .rm and .swf, .webm, .mp4. So these are all different media formats for our video and audio integration. You can display a video file and you can play audio song. You can play audio file, you can display video file by using HTML tag. So for audio video integration in SAP UI5, we don't have any screen element. That's the reason why in that situation, we have to make use of HTML5. For audio video integration, we don't have specific screen element in SAP UI5. In that situation, we will try to make use of HTML5 tag. And similarly, you can see iframe. iframe is not available. iframe is not directly available in SAP UI5. So in that situation, we can use iframe from HTML5. iframe is screen element which is not available in UI5 directly. Then we can make use of HTML5 screen element. And similarly, your audio video tags are not available in SAP UI5. So in that situation, we can make use of HTML5 tags. So Now, say for example, I just want to play one audio file first. So audio tag. So let me use one audio here. You can see audio control, and you can provide some SRC here, audio controls. You can use like this. And within this, what you can do is you can use some source, SRC equal to, I want to play one audio song by using this SAP UI5 project. So first of all, let me copy one audio song. Somewhere here you can see. There is a song from some Telugu movie. So let me copy that here. And I'm just pasting it under web content here. Some audio song dot mp3 file. So let us provide here. Audio song dot mp3 file. And the type of the file also you need to provide. Type of the file as audio by MPEG. So that you can provide it in double quotes. So let me use that now, and let me refresh here. So after refreshing, let me test it in the latest browser. So now you can see there is a audio control here. If you closely observe our output screen now, there is a audio control with volume, and there is a timer here, and there is a pause option and start option, and you can scroll it. So all these things are part of your audio control. You'll get it by default, and just let me play for 1 second. You can see here. If I click on start, so that is how you can just play audio file on your web page. And let me just try to play a video file also. You can see here. I just want to use a video file. For example, you can use like this. Video with some width. And you can provide, for example, 520 pixels. And I want to use some height, for example, 340 pixels. And I want to conclude with controls. So that's a video tag. And again, you have to use some source. And not only source, you have to provide some type of the file in double quotes. So let me just copy one video file. For example, you can see there is one video song. The same song I want to access through a UI5 application. So let me copy that. And you can paste it under web content here. So there is a file ddlsong.mp4. So you can provide that here. ddlsong.mp4. So it's a video file. Then you can use some type as video/mp4. That is for video formats. So video is a tag here. In previous case, audio is the tag here. When you are using video tag, you will get video plus audio. Okay. When you are using a video tag, definitely you'll get video along with audio. So you need not worry about that. Just let me refresh here. And let me test it in the latest browser. Old browsers won't support that. So let me test it in the latest browser somewhere here. And you can see now there is a audio option here, and it contains all controls here. Timer, volume increase or decrease, you can use pause, start button, etc., etc. So let me just play that. You can see here when I click on start, so that is how you can just play that a video file on your SAP UI5 applications. So there won't be any problem. It will play without any problem, and it will not even take time to load that. Within fraction of a second, it will try to load. I just paused it, but you can continue like that. So this is how you can use like audio and video controls on our SAP UI5 screens. So audio tag, video tag is not available directly in SAP UI5. That's the reason why we refer some things for HTML5. So let me copy that. So I copied both. You can use it here. So that is how you can use it. Hello students. Okay, I'll stop here and tomorrow we'll proceed further. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Hi Vijay.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi Vijay. I have this is Venkat here.
Okay.
I have two doubts. One is like now we are displaying all static data and all the stuff. So is that the dynamic data also possible? Like
Yes, yes.
here?
Dynamic things will come into picture when we go for scripting. When we go
Okay.
for
Well,
scripting,
I
we
mean to
can
say,
make those things more dynamic.
I mean to say from HTML.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. And as we have SAP UI5 library, do we also have HTML5 library as well?
HTML5, yes, HTML5 is a library.
Muted.
HTML5 itself is a library. Similarly, by using that library, SAP has produced UI5 library. Are you getting my point? In
But
Google,
I mean, like
you can type like HTML5 in Google. You'll get some various tags on that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What about others? So in simple words, what I mean to say is, let me tell you one point here. So in general, our applications will be like this. Yesterday also I told you. So our SAP UI5 application is nothing but like our all internet features or all web features, plus we will be having our SAP data on our screens. And even SAP Fiori also, we can have all internet features plus internet or web features. Along with that, we are going to have SAP data. Not only SAP data, you can also have non-SAP data if required. So that is how it is going to be in the coming classes. Okay, now you can ask your doubts.
Hi Vijay, Praveen this side.
Yeah,
Hello.
Praveen.
Hello. Yeah, Vijay, first question is like, at points I see you're writing a few things in double quotes, and at points you write it in a single quote. I'm not really able to understand where we have to use a single quote and where we have to use a double quote.
No, I used double quotes everywhere. I use double quotes everywhere. I don't think there is a single quotes here. You can see everywhere there is a double quotes.
Okay.
Are you getting my
Okay,
point?
fine. Let me check that again. Yeah. And another question is like, can we upload Excel file?
Yes, yes, we can display any type of file using iframe.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. We can display any type of file, Excel file, doc file, or any file using iframe. Yeah, then what about others?
Hi Vijender,
Hello,
this is
sir.
Jagannath.
Yeah, Jagannath.
Yeah. Actually, we are not able to connect to the SAP system that access that has been provided.
Okay, can you send a mail to me so that I'll try to cross check? What is the user ID you are using?
User 9.
Okay, just send a mail to me so that I'll forward to that administrator.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay, then.
Muted.
Yeah, Sheshu. Comment, I think we have to use some, you can try like this. I'm not sure, but I think you can use some double slash. You can try with that. I did not get your point. Comments just to be used, that's what I'm saying. Commenting a line is nothing but providing the comments, right? Commenting means what? Just writing the comments. Of course, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if you use your comment lines will never be compiled. Are you getting my point? Commenting line or comments will never be compiled by the framework. It will live as it is. I think you can try like this. You can use like HTML comments. You can see. So in W3 school, so you can see this is the tag. You can use like this. And within that, you can write whatever comments you want. So what about other students?
Hello, Vijay, Ajit here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ajit? Yeah, Ajit.
Vijay, yeah, Vijay, in the project which we have created, there is one only index.html file is there. View and the values will be .js, right?
No, I can't
So,
hear you properly, Ajit. Ajit, your voice is not clear.
yeah.
Okay, let me come to you.
Whenever, hello?
Yeah, you can speak now.
Hello, are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, whenever we are creating any project, there is an index.html file, and
Okay.
also view.js will get created and controller.js will get created. So are
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
going to develop the application in HTML or .js means I think JavaScript, right?
We are going to use all those things. We are going to use views. We are going to use controllers. We are going to use index file. We are going to use everything.
No, but HTML code only we can write in index.html, right?
No,
Or we
it's
can
not
write
like
in.
that. It's not like that. We write HTML code in HTML index file, as well as we can write some scripting here. You can see yesterday I was talking about that. There is a script tag also. In script tag, we can write our SAP UI5 scripting.
And in Vue also we can write HTML code. That is what I'm
No.
saying.
We don't write HTML code in Vue. We don't write HTML code in Vue.
Okay.
Are you getting my point?
Okay.
We write HTML code only in index file. And in index file, we can also write scripting code as well. But in Vue and controller, we always write some scripting tags.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, those things will come into picture. You'll get more clarity on that when I start using views, controllers, etc.
Okay. Thank you.
Then what about others?
Hello, hi Vijay, Rohit here.
Yeah, Rohit.
Hello.
Yeah, Vijay, I have a question regarding OData. So when we are creating a new project, so it is giving project tab. There are 3 project tabs we are having. services SAP annotation and services vocabulary based annotation and annotation in order for reference. So henceforth we are using only service with SAP annotation. So what are
Always we
the
use
areas?
that only. Always we use that only. I'm not sure about other options. We always use those default options. I'm not sure about other options.
So can we get any guideline, means some documents related to it, so that further we are going for interviews, they have asked such type of questions.
I'll
Uh,
search information on that. I'll search some information on that and I'll send it back to you.
and also for the complex entity types, can you provide some document related to it so that we can go through it and learn from ourselves? Because I know it is
I'll be forwarding some documents to you. In that you may get some solutions for that. I'll be sending some material after a few more classes, then you can explore more options.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Then
fine.
Sir,
Saroj.
Saroj here. Actually, sir, while I am opening that Eclipse editor, but sir, it is telling that something is missing. ABAP communication layer is not configured properly.
You need not worry about that. You can just ignore that message. Don't worry about that message. Just click on OK and ignore that message.
Sir, one more thing.
Yeah.
While I am creating one project in Eclipse, it is in the final state is it is telling some error.
What is the error
There is something missing. There is something missing. I will give the screenshot, sir.
Okay, just send that screenshot so that I can recognize.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then
okay.
What about others?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir. Sir, for that, the local host is needed for that, but because I'm getting error for testing purpose.
I think you need not configure. You need not configure anything. Just install Eclipse as what I explained as part of procedure. Don't do any special settings.
But while testing, I'm getting error that your what? I have sent the screenshot also.
Okay. I think I did not receive any screenshot from you. I did not receive any screenshot from you.
I have talked to you in Facebook.
Okay, what's the message you are getting?
I was getting that. Just a second.
Just check what is the message you are getting.
Yeah, I'm getting the message that outline is missing.
Outline is missing.
Yeah.
Okay, just send a message. Send an email again. I'll just cross check what.
An outline is not available.
Can you just send that screenshot to me? I'll look into it before I close this session.
I'll send the screenshot again.
Okay. And Sheshu, you can see now. Sheshu, you can also scroll the text from left to right. So just you have to use direction equal to right. You can use this option, direction equal to right. By default, the direction is from right to left, but if you want, then you can use from left to right by providing direction here. That's another property. Okay, then what about others?
Hi Vijay, Mohan here.
Yeah, Mohan.
Vijay, regarding the OData services, we have covered, some topics like entities, entity sets, accession, the accession navigational points, and then you have explained us some methods like CRUD methods, get entity set.
Yes.
Okay. Apart from that, is there any SAP reference or SAP help document that we can know more about the other methods, or if there are any other topics that we can learn on our own?
So whatever material I have, I'll forward it to you so that you can just go deep into those things.
Okay.
Okay. I think I did not send any material as of now except class notes. I'll be sending some more material which will help you to explore some more options.
Thanks. And then one more.
And most importantly, let me tell you. So whatever OData services we have created till now, we are going to use it again in the coming classes. That is not the end of OData service. OData services we are going to consume from the front end. Then you'll understand some more things in OData.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then how many more classes are needed for covering this HTML?
We are going to have next 2 classes will be on scripting. There will be some scripting syntaxes.
Okay.
After explaining scripting syntaxes, then I'll go for actual SAP UI5 part.
Right. Thanks, Vijay.
Okay, yeah. Then Rakshit, you can use that. Okay, there are some syntaxes. You have to go according to that syntax. Rakshit. Okay, then what about others? Tanmay, Tina, Swadin, Sunil. Yes, Sheshu, we can align. You can use some alignment as one property. You can use align as a property. Just use A, then you'll get some properties on that. Sheshu. Then what about others?
Hi Vijay, Rohit here.
Let me give chance to others. Aslam, Deepthi, Dheeraj, Gaurav, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear. There is no doubt.
Okay, then Satya Sunil. Yeah, Rohit, you can speak now.
Vijay, it's a general question. We are creating these HTML files. So what can we deploy those sites by the help of the URL? It is same like we are doing coding in the .NET and in Java. So we can.
What we do is we develop our total application in Eclipse. After developing our application in Eclipse, what we do is we'll try to create one zip file. We'll try to export it as a zip file. After exporting it as a zip file, what we do is we'll try to take that file and we'll deploy onto the server. We are going to deploy that file into ABAP UI5 repository. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Our applications will be deployed into ABAP UI5 repository. So there is some procedure in that. So that will be covered in the coming classes. First, let me complete the development. Then we can go for deployment. Okay. Yeah. Then Rani and Raja.
Mukund, Vijay.
Yeah, Mukund.
Yeah. How strong the scripting language should be for us to learn that UI scripting?
No, that will be very easy. There are some 3 syntaxes which you need to know. Then everything becomes very easy.
So I need to learn JavaScript or not?
No, it's not required. Whatever the classes I'm covering, that is going to help you and you can comfortably proceed further. Are you getting my point?
Yep.
Yeah. In tomorrow's class, I'm going to explain the syntaxes which are required for scripting. After that, we are going to start the UI5 part. So don't worry, whatever the sequence I'm following, go according to that so that you can easily develop the applications. Okay. Don't learn in zigzag manner. Go according to our class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, etc. Okay. Yeah. Then, okay, students. So I'll stop for today. Tomorrow we'll proceed further. Okay. See my screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. Okay, let us start today's class. In today's class, we are going to discuss like something like unordered list and ordered list in HTML. After that, we are going to discuss like scripting syntaxes. Scripting syntaxes in SAP UI5. It is applicable for UI5. So these two things we'll try to understand today. And in tomorrow's class also I'm going to discuss some more scripting syntaxes. Okay. Then okay, let me start with unordered list and ordered list in HTML. So if you want to use unordered list, then you can write some piece of code like this. Something like unordered list UL. UL is the tag. UL means unordered list. And inside this, you can use your list items. You can use your list items, for example, SAP UI5. List item LI. Similarly, you can use another list item like SAP Fiori. And one more list item, for example, SAP OData. So let me use this in our HTML file. One second. One second. Some students are joining late. So here, unordered list, I want to display some 4 to 5 items here. I want to display some 4 to 5 items. So let us see how it will work on the screen. So let me copy this, and I'm trying to I'm trying to open HTML file. Yesterday we have understood some video tag, audio tag, and other HTML tags. Similarly, unordered list is also one of the tag here with list item. So let us see how it will be reflected on the screen. I'm trying to refresh here, and you can see this is how it is reflected. These are the list of values. But for example, I want to display this list of values with some square box or circle. Then what you can do is you can just add some option here like style. You can use style also for your unordered list with something like list style. You can use list style with a type as, for example, you can see there are several style options here. I want to display this list of items with something like a square box. I want to display list of items with a square box, so then you can use this. And you can save it. As I told you in the last class, style is a very common attribute for HTML tag. So let us see the difference now. So now you can see it is available in the form of a square box here. It is available in the form of square box, and similarly, if required, you can use other options here like circle. You can use other options like circle here. You can see this. And let me refresh here. So that is how it looks like. And you can test it in the latest browser. So you can see it is in the form of a circle. And not only that, you can see, you can use other options like let me try with decimal. Let me check what happens here. I'm not sure, but let me check. You can see it is taking some numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is taking some numbers while displaying those list items. So first of all, just let me go with square box and just let me give this in your note file. For unordered list, we can add style attribute. For example, you can see like this. This is a unordered list. There is a unordered list, but for unordered list, what we are trying to do is we are just trying to add one style attribute with a list style type equal to square or circle or decimal, whatever. And similarly, let me tell you here. So style equal to list style type, you can use square or you can use something like circle, and you can use something like disk. There is one more option like disk, you can use that, and you can use like none. So these are the different style options which you can provide for unordered list. And similarly, let me use like ordered list here. So in case of ordered list, you have to use like something like a tag, OL. OL means ordered list. UL means unordered list. OL means ordered list. And here inside this, you can add some list item. So let me copy these things, list items. I'm using same list items. And I'm trying to end with ordered list item. So this is how you can use your list items with OL tag. OL tag is for ordered list. And in the previous case, we were using UL tag. That is for unordered list. So just remember those things. Okay, let me copy this ordered list. And let us refresh the screen. So when you're going for ordered list, by default, you're getting some numbers here. When you go for ordered list by default, you'll get some numbers here automatically. But not only numbers, you can also use your uppercase letters or lowercase letters or Roman numbers. So I want to use something like alphabets to indicate those list of items. I want to display list of items with alphabets. Then what you can do is you can apply a style concept here. You can apply a style concept. So let me open that. For ordered list, we can add style attribute. For example, you can use like this. For example, for ordered list, you can use like style. Let me write directly in the code part. here you can use style. Under style you can use like type, or else directly you can use type here. I think you have to use like type equal to, for example, let me use A, and let me test it now. So this is absolute. You can see it is clearly saying this is absolute, you should not use it. So you are getting some yellow color symbol, that means it is not recommended and it is outdated. But anyhow, let me check whether it works or not. Let me refresh here. Now you can see it is displaying the output with ABCD here. It is displaying the output with ABCD because type is equal to A. You can use type equal to 1, you can use type equal to A, type equal to I, etc., etc. We can use type equal to A, type equal to 1, type equal to I for different type of style attributes. So let me try here. I want to use, for example, something like smaller a case. If I use small a case, small a, then you can see some difference here in the output. It is taking lowercase alphabets to represent list of items. It is taking lowercase to display list of items. You can see that. So you can use this. And let me write some note here. We can use type equal to, for example, 1 for numbers. You can use type equal to something like uppercase A, that is for uppercase letters. You can use type equal to smaller a case, that is for lowercase, and type equal to I, type equal to I. This is going to display list of items with uppercase Roman numbers. Similarly, type equal to small I, it will display list of items with lowercase Roman numbers. So that is how you can use your type. Type is also one of the attributes for displaying the list of items. So just let me try with uppercase I to display uppercase Roman numbers. I'm using uppercase I to display uppercase Roman numbers in the output. Now you can see the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they are in uppercase. They are in uppercase. So that is how you can display list of items using HTML tags. So it may be useful when you are developing UI5 application somewhere or the other, it may be useful, so better to recognize these things. Now let us go with some scripting syntaxes here. Scripting syntaxes which can be used inside SAP UI5 applications. Scripting syntaxes which can be used inside SAP UI5 applications. For example, I want to use some conditions. Then there is no problem. You can use your scripting syntaxes, but the most important point here is scripting syntax are case sensitive. That is the only problem with this particular scripting, but development point of view it is very easy. The only problem with scripting is it is case sensitive, so you need to be very careful while writing the code. So scripting syntax are very case sensitive, so you need to be very careful while writing the code. So don't be irritated or frustrated while writing the scripting because it is case sensitive. If there is some small problem in writing the code, then definitely it will not display any output. So you have to be very careful. So, but what are the syntaxes we can use? So let me write those things. If I want to use some if condition, then you can apply like this. If some condition, and you have to use flower brackets. Within the flower brackets, you can write your code. Within flower brackets, you can write your code. So if condition is true, then that code will be executed. But whatever the code you want to write, you have to write it within the flower brackets. So that is one of the syntax. And similarly, you can also use if condition, and you can use flower bracket here, and you can use else, and you can open and close flower bracket. So this is also applicable. When we write our scripting in SAP UI5, we can use if-else condition like this. We can use if-else condition like this when we write our SAP UI5 code along with scripting. So you can implement some code, and you can implement some code here for if and else. But make sure that you're writing the code inside flower brackets. If is a keyword, else is a keyword. If is a keyword, else is a keyword, and when you're writing the code, you should write within the flower brackets. And one most important point here is scripting code. Every scripting statement ends with semicolon. So this is also important. You have to use semicolon. Every scripting statement ends with a semicolon, so don't forget that. Scripting is case sensitive, and each statement in scripting ends with semicolon. And not only if else, we can also use if, else if, and else condition also. We can use if, else if, and else condition. That means you can use like this. If condition 1, and then you can use else if condition 2, and you can write some piece of code here within the flower brackets. Then you can use else. So you can apply your script code inside this type of statements like if, else if, and else. So you can implement some code here. So that is how you can write your coding part. If is a keyword, else space if, you have to use else space if. It's a keyword, and else is another keyword. So not only these things, you can also use like a for loop statement. You can use for loop statement in scripting. we can use like for loop statement inside scripting. For example, you can use for I equal to 0, then I less than, for example, 10, then I plus plus. So this is used for iteration. I is initialized with 0 and this iteration will take place up to I less than 10. I value starts from 0 and this iteration, the looping will be executed until unless it reaches I less than 10, and each iteration it will increment I value by 1. For each iteration, I value is incremented by 1. So this is also one kind of statement here, one kind of syntax, and generally it is used for iteration. And not only that, we can also make use of a switch statement. We can use a statement like switch statement, something like this. We can use switch statement in scripting. For example, think like this. You can use switch, and you can use some value here, and you can put flower brackets and close flower brackets here. And within that, you can use case. For example, value 1. For example, value 1, then you can implement some code here. And what you do is, after implementing a code, you try to put a break statement. Break is a keyword. Similarly, case value 2, then you can implement some code according to that value 2, and you can put a break statement here. So similarly, case value 3, and you can implement some piece of code and you can put a break statement. So that is how you can use your switch case statement. So this is the approach to use switch case statement. And not only that, we can also make use of variables in scripting. We can declare a variable in scripting. So let me provide those things. Variables in scripting. So remember, variable in scripting is declared with var keyword. Variable in scripting is declared with a var keyword, var. Variable in scripting is declared with var keyword, that is var. And you know the purpose of variable is to store value. Variable in scripting is to store a value or values. A variable can store a single value or it can store multiple values. But var is a keyword we need to use. var is a keyword we need to use. For example, it looks like this, where you can declare some x equal to 5. You can declare where some x equal to 5, that's it. And similarly, where something like y equal to 6 year. And you can also declare like this, where z equal to x plus y. This is also possible. You can declare a variable z equal to x plus y. So this syntax is also valid. And you can declare something like where something like m equal to 1.6. You can also declare a variable value with some decimal. You can declare a variable value with some decimal. And not only that, you can declare where something like first name is equal to something like Vijay. So you can put it in double quotes. Or else you can use this syntax. You can use single quotes also. First name equal to Vijay. So you can use it in single quotes as well for declaring a string. For declaring a string, you can use either double quotes or single quotes. And there is one more type of syntax you can declare like this, where some car name equal to, for example, you can declare like this. And after that, you can provide where car name equal to some Honda here. So you can use like this. You can write it in 2 lines. Where car name and then car name equal to Honda. So you can write these 2 type of statements one after the other. And not only that, we can declare multiple variables in single line. We can declare multiple variables in single line with single where keyword. We can declare a multiple variables in single line with single where keyword. For example, you can see now. For example, I can write like this, where first name equal to something like this, comma, you can use like position equal to analyst, then some experience equal to something like 10 years. So if you closely observe this statement, first name is a variable, position is a variable, experience is a variable, but they are declared with a single keyword. First name is a variable, position is a variable, experience is a variable, but they are declared with a single where keyword in a single line. Where keyword is used only once here. So this type of syntax is also possible. And not only that, you can declare here something like where some z value is equal to 3 plus 5 plus 9. This is also possible. This is also possible. And not only that, you can declare where z equal to or where full name equal to, you can use like this, Ajay plus some space plus you can use Kumar. So this is also possible. Where full name equal to some first name plus some space plus last name. First name plus some space plus last name. So this is how you can declare a variable. And not only variable declarations, you can declare a variable by using a conditional ternary operator. Let me write that here. We can use conditional ternary operator in scripting, very commonly used. Of course, we are going to use it in our coming classes whenever necessary. Conditional ternary operator in scripting, for example, think like this. So this conditional ternary operator is used to assign a value based on some condition. Based on some condition. So the purpose of conditional ternary operator is used to assign a value based on a condition. You are going to assign a value to a variable. Please remember that. The purpose of conditional ternary operator is used to assign a value to a variable. You can assign a value to a variable by applying some condition here. For example, so first let me write the syntax here. Some var variable name equal to, you can use some condition in the bracket and you can put question mark. You can provide value 1 colon value 2. So that is a syntax for using conditional ternary operator in order to assign a value to a variable based on some condition. So technically how it works, let us see that. It's very simple. Let us see that. Something like var, for example, think like this. Some age or something like eligibility equal to, I can use some condition here. Age greater than, for example, 40, age greater than 40, then I can provide some eligibility as eligible. That's a value I want to assign. Colon, if age is less than equal to 40, then I want to assign not eligible. So that is how you can use this particular conditional ternary operator. If condition is true, then eligible is a value assigned to a variable. Otherwise, not eligible is a value assigned to a variable. So technically speaking, it looks like this. So in this particular statement, I can say eligibility is a variable. Eligibility is a variable, and this variable contains eligible value if this condition is true. Otherwise, if condition is false, then not eligible value is assigned to variable. That is how it works. I mean to say eligibility can get eligible value if condition is true. Else I can say eligibility variable may get not eligible if condition is false. So according to the above statement, I can define like this. If age is greater than 40, then eligibility is a variable that will be assigned with value as eligible. Else eligibility is a variable it will be assigned with not eligible. So that is how we can use our conditional ternary operator. That is how you can use our conditional ternary operator. So we are going to assign a value to this variable based on condition. That is the point. We are going to assign a value to a variable based on some condition. So this value can be string, the value can be an integer, value can be a decimal, whatever. So in this case, we are assigning string values, but it need not be string always. It can be integer values also. For example, think like this. For example, you can use like this, where something like where something like value equal to, you can put some condition. Status is equal to something like, if the status is equal to something like experienced. If the condition is having status equal to experienced, then you can put question mark, and I want to assign a value equal to, for example, 1000, else I want to assign a value as 500. So this is also possible. So we need not assign always a string value here. We can also assign a numeric value like this based on some condition here. And not only that, you can also have a situation like this, where something like emp type, you can use like status equal to, for example, you can use some condition, age greater than 50, then you can assign some status as true, else you can use false. So this is also possible. So you can assign a value to a variable with some Boolean values, true or false. You can assign value to a variable, and that value can be a Boolean value. Either it can be true or it can be false. So status becomes true if age is greater than 50, else status becomes false. So situation can be anything, but the point here is we can assign not only numeric values, not only string values, we can assign Boolean values. So that's the point. So of course we are going to use all these different type of conditions in the coming classes. So this is how conditional ternary operator works. And not only that, let me declare a array. So there is a very important concept in scripting, arrays in scripting. Let me go with that, arrays in scripting. So if I want to declare an array, but what is the purpose of array? Which is very important. So let me write here, array is used to store one, or it can store like 0 or 1 or many values. The purpose of array is to store 0, 1 or many values. That is the main purpose of that. That means it can hold, an array can hold 0, 1 or many values at runtime. So what is the syntax for that? So the syntax can look like this. For example, where cars equal to, you can use like square bracket. Square bracket is for declaring an array. Whenever you find square bracket, then you can think that it is an array according to scripting. According to scripting, if you find a square bracket, then it is an array. So I want to provide some list of cars in an array. For example, Honda is the first value, and something like Volvo is the second value, and then something like Maruti is a third value. So you can use like this. Something like Ford is the fourth value. So this is how you can declare an array. To declare array in scripting, so this is the approach you have to follow. So this array, cars is an array name, and it can store multiple values within the square bracket. But how technical it works, let me tell you that also. You can see here, very important for UI5. This is a scripting syntax, but we use it in UI5 development very commonly. So now I can say, when you try to declare an array with multiple values, when you declare array with multiple values, I can say internally this first value is stored by an array at index 0. The first value is stored by an array with an index 0. And similarly, second value is stored in an array at index 1. Then third value is stored in an array at index 2. So that is a behavior of an array. Fourth value is stored at an index 3. So that's a behavior of an array. When you declare an array, the array values will be stored starting from index 0. The values of an array will be stored at starting from an index 0 here. So let me write a simple note. The values of an array is stored using index. Index starting from index 0. That's the first point you need to notice. Now, say for example, in my coding part, I want to access this Maruti value. In my coding part, I want to access this Maruti value, then how you will do that? To access specific value from an array. Then how you will do that? So you have to use array name. Our array name is cars. Cars is the array name. You can use that, put square bracket, then put something like index 2. That is how you can refer. So cars in the bracket or in the square bracket, if I use index 2, then it will refer to Maruti. If I use like cars index 3, then it refers to Ford. If I use like cars with index 1, then it refers to Honda. So that is how we generally use it in our programming. So it refers to, that means it will fetch. Then second one, it will fetch like this value. Third one, it will fetch like Maruti. Sorry, this is Volvo, and this is Maruti. and the index 3, cars with index 3 will fetch 4. So that is how we can use our syntaxes in our programming part. So what I mean to say is the values of an array are referred by using an index here. The values of an array are referred by using an index. So let me write that note also. Index. The values of an array is referred by using index. So please notice that. So this diagram is very important. When I go for UI5, we are going to use this several times. So better concentrate on this diagram properly. So let me write those things here. Okay, let me write some few points. Just I'm writing that specific value from an array. You can use like this, cars, then just for our understanding, I'm writing it in this node file. So just remember this. So that is how you have to refer. And there is one more option that is like object. Say for example, I want to declare an object. So let me write that here. To declare object in scripting, then you have to follow this syntax. There is an object concept in scripting. So if you want to declare an object in scripting, then we have to use like var some data equal to, you can use like this. In square brackets you have to use. You have to use var data equal to some square bracket. So square bracket is the indicator for object in scripting. Sorry, flower bracket is for object, square bracket is for array. When you want to declare an object in scripting, then you can use your flower bracket. If you want to declare array, you have to use square bracket. So recognize that. And within this flower bracket, I can declare the values of an object. For example, first name, you can use colon, its value, something like this. Comma, you can use last name, some colon, some value. Comma, you can use age, colon, its value, something like this. So that is a syntax for declaring an object here. So I can say this is a data object, for example. So data object contains first name, last name, and age. So technically speaking, how internal it works, let us understand that. So you can see this is the line. So this is a data object is object here now. Why? Because we are using a flower brackets here. Data object is an object because we are placing the values using flower brackets. If you use square bracket, then it is an array. But if you use flower brackets, it's an object. So please remember this, and it should be on your fingertips. Now, so I can say this particular value is stored by using its name here. Value stored. Vijay is a value stored by referring to first name. That is a name here. And similarly, Kumar is a value stored by using last name. And age is a value, it is stored. Age is a value, it is stored. 30 is a value stored by using age here. Now, say for example, I want to access value Kumar. I want to access this value Kumar in my program. Then what you need to do? Then you can use this syntax. Data object dot, you have to use last name. Then it gives you a value Kumar. If I use data object dot first name, then it provides value Vijay. And if I use like data object dot age, then it gives you a value something like 30 here. So that is a syntax you have to use in order to refer the values available inside an object. So when you are using object, index will never come into picture at all. When you are using array, index will come into picture. When you are using array, index comes into picture, but when you are using an object, index will not play any role here. You have to use object dot first name, object dot last name, object dot age. So that's the syntax you have to follow. To refer values of an object, then use below syntax or below approach. So that's the approach you have to use. So that's the approach you have to follow. And not only that, in our scripting, we can use some different operators. We can use some different operators in scripting whenever necessary. We can use different operators in scripting whenever necessary. For example, I can use plus operator, minus operator, etc., etc. But there are some special operators also in scripting, so let me highlight those things. Not only plus minus, but there are some special operators as well. So let me write here. Plus you can use whenever you want for addition. Minus you can use it whenever you want to subtract. And you can use star, that is for multiplication. You can use it whenever necessary in scripting. And slash, you can use it for division. And you can use percentage for modulus. And we can use plus plus operator here. We can also use plus plus operator, that is an increment operator. And you can also use minus minus, that is a decrement operator. You can use like this. These are general mathematical operators, or I can say arithmetic operators. To be more specific, I can say these are arithmetic operators in scripting. And you can declare variables like this also. For example, var sum x equal to 5, var sum x equal to 5, and then in the next line you can use like this, x plus plus. You can use x plus plus. So x is incremented by 1 if you use x plus plus. So x value becomes 6, then you can declare var z equal to x here. So this is also applicable, this type of statements. X equal to 5 and x plus plus, after that x value is assigned to z. So at this point of time, value of z becomes 6 here. So in that way also you can use it. And similarly, you can use like var x equal to 5, then you can use x minus minus, that's an operator. And you can use var z equal to x here. So in this situation, value of z becomes 4 here. So x plus plus value is incremented by 1, x minus minus the value is decremented by 1. Value is incremented by 1 here, value is decremented by 1 here. So this type of syntaxes are valid in scripting. This type of syntaxes are valid in scripting. And there are some special operators like comparison operators. These are arithmetic operators here, but there are some special operators like comparison operators in scripting. So let me write that. Comparison operators in scripting. If I use double equal, then it will take care of equal to. Double equal is nothing but it will compare with equal to. It will just check for equal value. But if I use triple equal, here, then it will consider equal value and equal data type. That is how it will compare. So if you are using triple equal, then it will compare equal value. It also compares with equal data type. But in double equal, it will just check for equal value, not the equal data type. Data type can be different, but it will just compare with equal value. So these are all simple things you can understand with this note file. And not only that, there is one more operator, not equal. It will just check for not equal value. And you can use not double equal. Not double equal will compare for not equal value. It will compare for not equal value or not equal data type. Not equal value and not equal data type. If I use not double equal. And not only that, we can use these operators, simple operators like greater than, and you can use like greater than equal. You can use these operators in scripting whenever necessary. And similarly less than and less than equal. Less than or equal to. So these are all comparison operators which we can use in our scripting in our UI5 applications. And not only that, there are some logical operators. There are some logical operators in scripting.